Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to a brand new video and a new episode of the Veloce Squadsprint League here today. This is round 3 and we are here for the Turkish Grand Prix as we are back at Istanbul for the first time since F1 2011, and you can see we've got 17 laps ahead of us, which equates to a 35% race distance, which is what we'd run in this league. And this is round 3 of 8 possible rounds, so already kind of approaching the halfway stage. In terms of the rules, as always, fixing up, one stop is mandatory, and we have to use the soft tire at some point as well, which is a mandatory compound. And in terms of the calendar, we won race 1 in Silverstone, James Baldwin won round 2 in Hockenheim, and it's all to play for now, and it's all up for grabs in round 3 in Istanbul. But if you guys missed the previous race at the Hockenheim ring, then go check it out. I'll leave a link up in the top right hand corner of your screen, because for me personally it wasn't the best day at the office, so I do recommend checking that one out. After the highs of Silverstone, we need to respond here today. Now in terms of the grid, it's a 1, 2, 3 for quadrant, Niran, Arav and Nathan Tague. Then we've got the All-Stars team with Thibaut Courtois, Alex Gillon and Louis Delatraz behind them. Then it's us, the Veloce team, Ben McConnell aka Raggy P7 ahead of Hayden Gullis, and we are starting the race from P9, so pretty much in the mid-pack here today. Danny Bresnay is the lead of the Alphas ahead of Simon Weigang and Barry Burman, so the Alpha team looking very strong here today. As we look at Yas Heat, we've got Yashish Manhar P13 ahead of Janislav Honzik aka Jardier in 14th, and then Eamon Murphy P15 in the final Yas Heat car. Emily Jones in the first of the McLarens, and following her is going to be James Baldwin. Then it's Bono Huis or Bono House, I believe, in Dutch ahead of Danny Moreno, and then Jan Otmir bringing up the rear for the Mercedes team here today, and a 20-car grid. So here we are then, Istanbul, the Turkish Grand Prix. I'm looking forward to it. This particular mod is really good quality, so I'm expecting some fun racing here today, and fingers crossed we can respond, because Silverstone we won the race, and you know, the last one in Germany didn't go according to plan. Now as you can see in the background, we are currently going through the final preparations for the race. We just sat on the grid, currently discussing with my team the kind of strategy for this race, and of course we start from P9. We're going to start on the hard compound tyres and then switch to the softs at the pit stop. So here we go, 17 laps ahead of us, and we're going to try and see if we can get a good start and try and make some progress straight away. We've got a good chance starting this high up to hopefully get past some other cars ahead of us, so fingers crossed we can try and do that and have a decent race here today, because I need to bounce back after a very poor round 2 in Germany. We need a result like the first race in Silverstone to get me back in the mix. So here we go, getting ready for the race start, trying to get those RPMs absolutely perfect, and we're going to wait for the lights to go out any second now for round 3 here at the Turkish Grand Prix, and it's going to be lights out and away we go. It's a great launch off the line. We get squeezed though in between both of our teammates, as one of the I believe one of the cars ahead did not get off the line too well. There's contact behind and there's more in front. We somehow avoid absolutely all of it. I don't know how we done that, but somehow we did, and we managed to clear our front wing and not have damage or anything. We're now side by side with an All-Stars car here. I believe that's Louis Delatraz on the outside. We're going to try and go the long way round through the right, but Louis nice and late on the brakes. We get a bit of contact there by one of the Yas Heat cars, I believe, on the right. That I think is Eamon Murphy from P15 on the grid, so he's had a fantastic start. We do get the traction though and just edge ahead, but he's going to come back at us now down the inside of turn 7. It's a big send from Murphy there, and Hayden, actually my teammate, goes for a cutback on him, and we've lost almost 3 places in that exact same corner. We've got Jardier behind us as well, just on our right hand side, as Hayden runs off the track and runs wide. Jardier does the exact same thing, and we're going to slot in behind Eamon Murphy and Louis Delatraz here. So yeah, really crazy start to the race already. Loads of contact. My teammate Raggy, as you saw at turn 1, getting absolutely swiped out by one of the Alphas, and now Murphy off the track here. Hayden getting a good run on us. We're going to use the fact that Murphy ran onto the grass to try and make an overtake here. Hayden giving me a bit of a bump draft as we now get a slipstream off of Louis Delatraz. 3 wide into the brake zone here. We're going to go down the middle into the hairpin, and we're going to make it work, but Louis Delatraz fights back around the outside now through here as we now go into the final corner, and we're going to have to leave a bit of room. We get forced onto the curb, which gives me really poor traction on the AstroTurf, and that allows Murphy back through once again, and now he's going to challenge Delatraz into the first corner here onto lap 2. We're going to try and go the long way round into the first corner. It doesn't quite work. We actually run off the track and missed the apex completely. We've now got, I believe that's Danny Bresnay in our mirrors, who's making a move on my teammate Hayden Gullis. We're going to just about though get the car ahead of Danny Bresnay for now, as we head into the kind of Mickey Mouse section here, this little left-right-left combo. Delatraz off the track. We're going to go the long way around here. We leave a bit of room, but there's contact, and Delatraz goes for a spin. It causes carnage behind, and somehow after all of that, The car but directly behind me now is Jarno Opmeer, the F1 Esports World Champion. So there's more contact in the background in the mirror there, so I believe Hayden has better contact with Barry Burman. And yeah, after that sequence, after that contact with me and Delatraz, I think we're okay. I think we're P4 at the minute, and we've survived. So an absolutely crazy start to the race, really crazy to be fair, first 2 laps. And we've got more action here as Murphy trying to put a move on one of the quadrant cars up ahead. I can't quite tell who it is just yet, but we'll find out shortly, I believe, as we've got also Opmeer behind us, and I think James Baldwin is behind Jarno, so both of those guys recovering quickly. Jarno from P20 on the grid to P5, incredible start from him, and now Murphy around the outside of the quadrant, but it looks like he runs a bit hot on the brakes. I believe that's Arav. He's going to try and defend the line here. We're going to get the cut back on him through the penultimate corner, and now to the final corner we go, the long way round, and it's a nice clean move there on Arav for P3, I believe. Out front right now we have, I think, Nathan Tague, or it could be P4 actually. I think Arav was that car, but I think there's someone else out front. I'm not quite sure right now. Unfortunately, because this is a replay file, we don't have the full information available to us on screen, so apologies for that. And the reason I don't record live is because Assetto Corsa is quite tricky with FPS, so it's better for us to not do this. So anyway, skipping on to lap, I believe lap 3 now, and I was wrong actually. We've got 2 quadrant cars out front, so we are P4, Murphy's in 3rd, and it looks like one of the quadrants is going to pit, so that's going to leave Nathan Tague, I think, out front for now. So yeah, we're going to see how this goes. Obviously that quadrant car who pitted just now was on soft tyres, going for an early stop because the soft tyres go quite quickly in this mod. As now Murphy sends one down the inside of Nathan Tague, and actually Nathan trying to fight back here for Team Quadrant. We're just going to sit back and wait for the opportunity without leaving ourselves vulnerable to an attack from Jarno Opmeer. We tried to go very late on the brakes. We pull off an absolute perler as we go around the outside and then pick up the inside line through here, and we're going to make an absolute beauty of a move on Nathan Tague as we now go around the outside once again, and that is the move of the race from me so far. Absolutely fantastic there. Just hooking it up beautifully, getting the momentum around the outside of turn 5, and then just swinging it around and keeping that confidence as now Jarno Opmeer goes for a move up the inside of turn 7. And that, as it stands right now, Murphy net P1, we are net P2, Jarno Opmeer 3rd, and James Baldwin is P4. So an absolutely stacked top 4. And some really fast drivers here as we make a bit of an error here on lap 5, I believe, running a bit wide, clipping the inside curb. That kind of set me off balance. Jarno looking for a move, but luckily I managed to recover quite nicely and place my car right where it needs to be in the middle of the track, and you know, not leaving myself too vulnerable. I also recover quite nicely in the sense that I got good traction, and you can see the mirrors now in the background. James and Jarno went for what was, I believe, a 5-6 lap long battle at this point, and it was crazy. I could not believe it. It went on for ages. If you haven't seen it, check out the full broadcast, guys. I'll leave a link down below in the description. It was a clash of the titans, a battle of the heavyweights. Jarno and James went at it in an incredible 5-lap battle that I do recommend you go watch. But in the meantime, we get a bit of oversteer into turn 1. I was trying to push there and put a bit of pressure on Murphy, who of course is no slouch, of course, Yasheet, esports driver, and of course very familiar with the GT scene, so he's a very fast guy overall. But we're going to try to put some pressure on him. In the meantime, you can see in the mirrors now, Jarno and James have actually dropped off quite massively because their battle cost them so much time. They were going at it so just tough, you know, all the time, just constantly overtaking each other, and it was pretty much me and Murphy for the race lead at this point, and we was looking really good. I did have some damage, of course, because of the contact with Louis Delatraz, and I am going to try and get that repaired in the pits. But you can see now I'm just trying to put some pressure on Murphy. I'm getting pretty close, but not close enough. So at the end of this lap, I believe lap number 11 of 17, I'm going to pit for the soft compound tyres and go for the undercut. So this is good news for us. Murphy did not see this coming in many ways. He stays out for one more. So on paper, the undercut is worth about 3 seconds. So we should comfortably be out in the lead. The problem was, and this is where I ruined my race and threw it away, I decided to take repairs for damage, which is capped at 20%. So essentially, the worst your damage can be is 20%. So I took them thinking it would make my car better because I felt a bit slow on the straights. And you can see James actually pit with us, and he has rejoined about 3 seconds, 4 seconds, even 5 seconds ahead of us. So yeah, we did a pit stop as usual, but we took repairs. And in hindsight, this was a massive mistake because it was not worth it. It didn't make the car feel that much better, really, to be honest with you. And also, my pace on these soft tyres was not good. You'll see now in the next lap, there's Jarno Opmeer leaving the pit exit right now. So essentially, we've missed out on the chance to undercut Murphy and stay ahead of Jarno and James. And it's worth noting, I took repairs in the first race of Silverstone, which I won. And the repairs were very, very minor. I mean, I had, you know, like similar damage to what I had now, but it took so much less time, and I don't know what happened, but in this race the repair time was really, really big. Either way, we cut into the last lap of the race now. Fortunately, I tried my best, but I didn't have the pace on the soft tyres. James Baldwin picked up the win. He actually managed to undercut Murphy from as far back as he was, so it just goes to show how strong the undercut was. Murphy will get second place, Jonah Otmir will get third, who's just gone off the track there, doing a bit of an excursion on the grass, and for good measure, a little Spinella rejoining the track, and we finish in P4. So back in the the high points, it goes to show Germany was just a one-off. We had a really strong performance here today, but I can't help but think that was my win, and I threw it away. I don't know why I took repairs in hindsight. I think we should have just kept on going. The undercut was worth 3 seconds, so I could have been, out front, leading the race by 3 seconds over Murphy, and I could have been actually in with a good chance to win. I will admit, my pace on the soft tyres was not great. It was probably the worst out of the top 4 anyway, so bit of a shame because on the hard I was really quick. But anyway, no regrets in terms of the strategy. The strategy was on point. It was just, taking that damage repair, which really, really screwed me over. Either way, you can see the race results in the background. Unfortunately, both Hayden and also Ben McConnell or Raggy didn't get points here today. So again, so far this championship, all the points in the constructors have been scored by yours truly for the Veloce team, but hopefully that will change shortly, and fingers crossed whoever steps in the car next for my teammate positions, they do a better job. We look at the Drivers' Championship though after that race, and we are currently in 3rd place. So James Baldwin, with 2 back-to-back wins, is now quite comfortably ahead. There's a nice bit of breathing room ahead of Murphy. We are 2nd, joint points with Jarno Otmir, and then there's a bit of a gap to Bono Huis in P5, or Bono House in P5. So at the minute it's definitely looking like a top 4, and the top 4 that finished top 4 in that race, seemingly the fastest guys on paper in this championship so far. Then we've got Barry Burman P6 ahead of Jardier, Danny Moreno, Nathan Tague P9 for Quadrant. Great season so far from him, some really strong points, and then Simon Vargang rounding out the top 10 in the driver standings. We then finally look at the constructors, and McLaren Shadow lead the way, 2 points clear from Mercedes, so they're looking pretty decent. Yassi, 3rd place for them. And then this race, thanks to my points tally here today, we get back ahead of Alfa Romeo for now and reclaim P4. So yeah, overall a good day in the office, can't complain. There was a lot left on the table, and I do regret not maximising the result, but at the same time, the car went well. I was happy to just bounce back because, Germany was an absolute disaster class. I had so many mistakes in that race, and it was just nice to get a strong race under my belt once again. And yeah, we go again in the next race, which is the Belgian Grand Prix, I believe, round 4. So stay tuned for that, guys. But nonetheless, if you enjoyed today's video, leave a like, subscribe for more. Thanks to the members of the channel, as always, for supporting the videos. And finally, check out the 2 videos on screen right now, including the previous episode at Germany. And I'll see you guys next time very soon for round 4 at Spa. But until then, take care. And it's goodbye from me.